There's a father at every youth sports game in America. You know the guy I'm talking about. You might even be this guy. He sits in the stands, 60 pounds overweight or more, eating concession stand food, slamming nachos and Coke, and then screaming at his 10-year-old son to hustle or run faster. He demands elite performance from his child, but he's accepted complete and utter mediocrity from himself. I call this guy the hypocrite in the stands. And the tragedy isn't that he's loud. The tragedy is that his son can hear him, but he stopped listening to him a long time ago. Because children have a built-in radar for fraud. I'm sure you've experienced this with your own children. As soon as they get past that 4 or 5 years old, they start to point out hypocrisies really, really easily. I know my son has done this many times. And if you demand a standard that you do not hold yourself, you are not leading. You're just making noise. If you're new here, I'm Chris Rodak. I'm the founder of Rising Father and the Men of Fire Brotherhood. I'm a husband, I'm a father, a full-time entrepreneur. I've helped hundreds of fathers across 12 countries reclaim their discipline, their health, and their family leadership. If you're looking for a channel that coddles you and tells you that your dad bod is acceptable, I'm telling you, click away now, because I'm not that guy, and I am not here to be your friend. I'm here to be the wake-up call that you've been ignoring. But if you're ready to stop making excuses for yourself, stop the lies, stop the procrastination, and become the unbreakable leader your family is desperate for, hit the subscribe button. Because we're building a new standard of fatherhood at Rising Father, and I want you in the ranks. Now, let's work together and silence the hypocrite. In this video, I'm going to break down the 3 most dangerous lies fathers tell their children. But just like my last video, I'm also going to translate them for you. Because when you scream at your kids, you think you're teaching them. And guys, I've been there. I've done it. But here's the damage that you're doing. You're actually confessing to them your own failures. Here's hypocrisy number 1. See if you've done this, or see if you've seen somebody do this. You say you need to be disciplined. You need to train. You need to take this seriously. And then the reality is, you haven't seen the inside of a gym in 5 years. Or you treat your body like a dumpster, but you treat his body like a high-performance machine. The translation is, when you yell, "Run faster," from the couch, your son hears, "Discipline is for children only." Once you become a man like you, Dad, you can quit. And doesn't that sting when you hear that? And imagine yourself as a child, when you were your son, looking up to your father, thinking he was Superman, anything's possible. But then when you finally found out that he was real, what if you can have a new standard of leadership and fatherhood and of modeling for your children? What if when they found out the real you, it was even more inspiring and impressive? It wasn't, "Oh, Dad settles. Dad quits. Dad gave up on himself as soon as he had me." No, Dad is still pursuing his best. I want to be just like Dad. What if that's the standard of fatherhood that you chose to embody? Because when we do this hypocrisy, we aren't teaching him to be an athlete. You're teaching him that adulthood is the finish line of effort. And adulthood is when your fire dies. Adulthood is complacency and acceptance. No, adulthood is whenever you become your prime. That's what we need to teach our kids. Or you say, "Stop crying, toughen up, control your emotions." And the reality is, you are screaming this while you are completely out of control. You are having a tantrum and screaming and snapping to stop his tantrum. Where do we think he learns this? And this is so common. I remember being early 20s, driving my son to daycare, and he was 1, 2 years old, somewhere around there, and he was just screaming in the back. I had to drop him off, then I had to go to work. My son's in the back of the car just screaming, shrieking for no reason. To him, there might be reason. To me, I was like, there's no reason. You just ate, you're in the back, you should be fine. It was so loud. I remember one day just snapping, shouting at him, screaming, "Be quiet." And the look of pure terror and fear on his face, I will never forget, and I regret that. So I've done it, I understand. But that is peak hypocrisy, because my out of controlness and my lack of emotional control leaks onto him, and then it teaches him to do the exact same thing. Whenever we do that, the damage is they don't see a strong leader, they see a grown man who has less emotional control than a toddler. They're just children, they're just toddlers. They're supposed to be out of control. They're supposed to be learning how to control. You don't start life in control. You start life out of control, and then we become more controlled. There's also plenty of fathers in their 30s and 40s and 50s who have never learned that ever. Yet we will scream and shout and snap at our children who are in single digits when they're out of control, whenever we're chugging down beers, sleeping in, hitting the snooze button, and skipping the gym. What our children hear is, it's okay to lose control as long as you're the biggest person in the room. And is that what a leader does? No. A leader does the opposite. A leader embodies the standard. He doesn't demand the standard on everyone else besides himself. Hypocrisy number 3. We say, you can be anything you want in the world. Chase your dreams. Work hard. What's the reality? You gave up on your dreams a decade ago. You settled for the safe job, the safe life. You refused to invest in yourself. You refused to take risks. You settled for the comfortable routine. You are living vicariously through his scoreboard because you stopped putting points on your own. The translation that he hears is, dreams are for kids, real life is about settling. One of the things I am so happy and proud about for myself is that my son and daughter got to watch me quit my teaching job and start my own business and chase my dream. At the time, it was terrifying. Quitting my job, losing my pension, my benefits, my salary, my guaranteed income to make 0 guaranteed dollars as an entrepreneur. Going from my boss at school has all the accountability for me to I am my sole source of accountability. That is a terrifying journey to go from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship, but it is extremely empowering and it makes you feel really strong whenever you do it. But also, at the time, I was thinking to myself, man, I wish I would have done this 10 years ago. But now I look back and I say, thank God my kids got to watch me quit and go for my dreams. Because while I was miserable at that job, I told my children, I am working extra hours right now to build this business, to quit this job. And I told them, you're going to watch me do it. And they were like, yeah, Dad, you're going to do it. They believed in me. They watched me for years grow and build this thing. So the fact that my kids got to watch me go for my dreams is an immense source of pride. And I love that now that it's over, I'm glad it happened that way. But here's the uncomfortable truth about leadership. You do not have the right to demand which you do not demonstrate. If you want a warrior for a son, you must be a commander, not a spectator. If you want a disciplined daughter, you cannot show her a glutton for a father. Your children are not listening to your lecture. They're watching your life. And right now, the audio might not match the video. So how do we kill this hypocrite? We use the bleacher test. And before you correct your child, ask yourself, have I earned the right to say this today? No, you don't get the right to say it because you're a father. You don't. You have to earn the right to be a father every single day. We are not entering into a transactional relationship with our children and wife where we say, because I provide for you, because I have the title of father, you have to obey me. No, we are not going to invoice them our relationships. We must earn that respect like a leader. Want to tell him to hustle? Go run a sprint first. Want to tell him to control his temper? Show him calm in the face of chaos first. Maybe you come home and instead of your wife having a warm meal on the table, greeting you with a kiss and jumping into your arms, she says, where were you? I've been home with the kids all day. And your first thought is, yeah, well, I've been providing. You must show calm in the face of that storm. That's emotional control. Want him to chase greatness? Let him see you building something that actually scares you. Your son doesn't need a fan in the stands. He has plenty of those. He needs a father in the arena. Stop screaming from the cheap seats. Get down on the field, get dirty, show him what a man looks like when he's exhausted and terrified, but keeps going anyway. If you are ready to get out of the stands and back into the fight, click the link below and apply to Men of Fire. This is where the new standard of fathers is growing. We don't do as I say. We do watch me work. I'm Chris Rodak. Get in the game.